Hello everybody, Ian Robson here, and welcome to Lakeside Farm. So unfortunately, our Oklahoma save did corrupt, as I mentioned in the American Outback. We were unable to save it unless we started over again, and we just felt it was better just to move to a different map. So, thus the reason why we're on Lakeside Map. So Lakeside, is on one of the ones by Stevie, which is the same guy who did, I believe, Michigan, and he also did Black Rock Valley, which I played on for a little bit as well. So Lakeside, this is Lakeside USA, version 3. It's a large farm in a picturesque landscape that has many diverse ways to fill your bank account. It features some superb installed mods from the finest mod makers out there. Lakeside USA V3, version 3 of course. It's a multi-fruit map with fill planes and loading particles, etc, etc, etc. And there's 26 fields, and you have forestry to the south, salads, and some other things involved as well. Their gold challenge is also in this map as well. So this is what the map looks like right here. It's a pretty big map. As it mentioned, on the east side you got the salad features. We do have soil mod installed on this map, and we do have the damage mod installed on this map. We may or may not continue using those. We'll see how it works out. As you can see in the bottom left hand corner, you can see the damage that mod that I'm referring to, and it shows that 0 damage is here. So I will have to be extremely careful when driving around this map. So anyways, we're just baling up a little bit of hay here. Something we don't normally do on the server, mainly because bales aren't always the greatest thing. We do have the drive control mod installed. As you can see, we're just using the standard in-game equipment for the time being. Which is okay. There we go. We're using the standard in-game equipment for the time being. That's way, way, way too fast. Oh, almost. There we go. So we're using standard in-game equipment for now, just because that's what we started with. But we will be upgrading and changing the equipment to some of the mods that we have installed. We have basically all the same mods from the previous map at the moment, but we will probably add some more mods, change it up a little bit. I just added some mods just now, so we'll see how it goes. Right now we're joined on the server by Spud, Louie, Isomer. They're all on the server with me. They've been messing around the map for a little bit this morning, and I have just joined them to check it out as well, to see how things are running. It seems like everything's running okay for the time being, so we may, we're definitely going to keep this map. Everyone seems to be pleased with it so far, which is good. That's always a big bonus when everyone's happy with the map. Sometimes you gotta wonder whether it's going to be, good or not, but seems like everyone's enjoying themselves. Everyone likes everything likes what's on the server, which is good, and likes what the possibilities of this map, basically, because there are quite a few possibilities. It does have rabbits, I believe. I think I saw pigs, cows, sheep, lambs, chickens. It's basically all the different animals. It also has a potato washer on here. It also has the beet pulp for your pigs and whatnot as well. So there are quite a few possibilities on this map. So I believe that's when you close the back there, Ian. That was kind of funny. So I believe that we don't normally bale, and I believe that we're going to put these bales straight into the into storage, and we'll see how that works out. We should be able to put it straight into the bulk storage. I'm not certain whether it's going to work 100% or not, but we're going to give it a go. If it doesn't, we can always feed it to the cow, so it's not a big deal. Or put it in the TMR mixer, which apparently was not working before. It wasn't working, but it was just desync issue. So like, because the server wasn't talking to the computers that were like the other guys that were playing, so that was the reason why we ran into a problem. Anyways, before I do forget, I just want to thank all my patrons once again. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate the support, and thanks again. Appreciate that, guys. Anyhow, so we're just baling up here. I don't think we have the bale extension on here. No, I didn't think so. I thought we did, but we didn't, which is okay. I think the bale extension does work on the server, actually. I don't believe we've tried, but I believe it is possible to get that working on the server. We don't really do much baling, and not many people do a lot of baling on servers because it is kind of hard on the server. because the number of bales you have. So right now we don't have that many bales, but the higher the number of bales you get, the worse it becomes, because then you have to worry about all the extra entities and whatnot. So I wonder if they'll fix that in FS 17, which should be kind of curious to see whether that is fixed or not. So anyways, the damage mod is something I have not played around with for a long time. It used to be really, really bad, but now it's not so bad. So now you can actually drive over a bump without like losing all the durability of your implement that you're using. So that's good, because before what used to be the case is you used to drive over something and then you'd lose like 10% damage. But now it's a lot more subtle on this map, or subtle in general, which is really good because it makes it a lot more useful than it used to be, at least. Now I did try it already when I was messing around this map, just checking it out. I did check it out to see what it was like, and it does work fairly well. It's interesting because the way it works is you have to take if you like damage your truck, for example, you have to take your truck to like a repair shop, and then it sits there until it's fully repaired. Then you get a little message saying your truck is repaired, now you can come pick it up, sort of idea, which is really neat actually. I think that's pretty cool. I'm assuming the same works for all the implements as well, so I think that's a really, really nice little feature that was added to this map. So we can take it off as core, of course. We can always, disable it on the server. So, but for now, we're gonna keep it in. Hopefully, that'll keep people from driving into things, or maybe it'll make them drive into things because they want to see what the damage mod does. Either or. We do have the drive control mod on here as well, which is nice. Like I mentioned before, because it does add a few really great things that you don't see. I found that I was missing these things because you get so used to using them. It's one of those things where if you don't have them, you kind of miss them a little bit. So, for example, like being able to follow someone's speed. Like right now, I'm using drive control so that when the baler is full, it'll stop. For example, like those types of things, which we didn't have capability of doing before. But it's a nice little feature. Very nice little feature. And like I said, it's one you should definitely try to use all the time, especially if you're baling. Like, it actually works really well for if you're collecting forage as well. So like let's say you're using the forage wagon. It's really nice because what will happen is it will stop once your forage wagon is full. Now, assuming you remember to close the gate, you won't have a problem like that we had right there, but all in all, it should be pretty good. Looks like looks like Louis is doing the outside of the field as well. So this is a decent field in terms of the soil mob. We got 57% moisture, 3% N, PK is 2, which is pretty good. I was actually reading the Farmers Forum the other day, and they were talking about they have like a crop report basically about what's going on with the different farmers in different areas, and for the most part, the hay quality was good, and it came off really nicely, but the problem was quantity, because there wasn't very much of it in Ontario, at least. The Farmers Forum, of course, is an Eastern Ontario newspaper for farmers, so to speak, and that's the reason why it focused on Ontario. But yeah, from what I could tell, the yield wasn't very good, but the quality wasn't necessarily bad, just not very much of it. So there may be a shortage of hay and straw this year, depending on what. I know, as far as I understand, like the number of acres planted in wheat this year is actually higher than it was last year. But the problem is the wheat isn't very tall. So what's happening there is, because the wheat's not very tall, it's not producing a lot of straw, so therefore there may be a straw shortage in that department. So it's kind of interesting. It's curious how things all kind of mingle together like that. It does really add up. Like, you don't realize, like, for example, like this summer's been really nice in Ontario. Really sunny, like almost every day's been a sunny day. We haven't got a crazy amount of rain. And because of that, certain things have been affected. Like for me, for example, I've been able to go outside fishing a lot because it hasn't been raining very much. But because of that, a lot of farmers haven't got a lot of yield from their hay, because hay needs, like every plant basically needs water, right? So they still grow with a little bit of water, but the problem you run into, of course, is that there's just not enough of it to increase. Actually, it's one of the things they mentioned in the crop report. They mentioned the fact that because there hasn't been much rain, regrowth, so for second cut or third cut, depending what they planted. Did I not close it again? No, I didn't. Regrowth is a problem, actually, so they haven't got a lot for second cut or third cut, like I was saying. So that was one of the issues they ran into. Yes, here we are. So I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. I don't know if my in-laws are gearing up for second cut or not. I'd have to ask them, honestly. I don't think they are, honestly, because it's still early. But maybe by the time mid-August, there might be more hay ready to go. I don't know. We'll see. All right, there we go. Close that up. Continue on. So right now I'm kind of using like a combination of mods. I'm using the GPS mod to make sure I stay straight, just so I can kind of move around and shoot some different angles. Otherwise, you'd see, when I usually bail when I'm not recording, I bail like in cab like this. And like I don't look outside the cab at all, basically. So that's the reason why I kind of have the GPS on. But we're doing round bales, which is a bit different. Normally I'm more of a square bale person, but they started with rounds, so we're just going to continue on there. I don't know if this is going to be like an ongoing thing. I think what we'll do is we'll just have the we'll just do this one field of grass in round bales, and then maybe in the future we'll do squares, or maybe no bales at all, depending on what's going on. So we'll have to see how that works out. Now it's funny because this is one of Stevie's maps, so it's laid out a bit differently than let's say Oklahoma, for example. It's more of a I don't know, you'd even call it maybe a lush farm might be the word. It's greener, I guess. I don't know, not even greener, just laid out differently, basically. Because I know like Oklahoma is more of a I think it would be like in Oklahoma, I suppose, but a flatter style farm, whereas this is a bit I shouldn't be able to pick that up now. Good. I was just curious because what happens normally is that's going to be in his way, isn't it? Yes. What normally happens is in my single player game I can bale just grass that hasn't been tedded yet, but in the standard game you can't do that. So that's the reason why I was just kind of curious as to whether I'd pick up any of this grass here or not. But I do not, so that's good. So let me know if you have played on this map. I'm kind of curious. Have you had a chance to check out Stevie's maps? Did you ever play on Black Rock Valley? Let me know in the comments below. I think he does great maps. They can be a little intense on your PC. So depending on the style of PC you have or the power you have in your PC, it may or may not make a difference. I don't know. So on the server it seems to run fairly smoothly. Like the one place where it does seem to dip a little bit in your FPS is around the animals, which is always the case because there's just so much going on in that one little area. That's the reason why it kind of tanks a little bit, but other than that it seems to be pretty solid, so I'm pretty happy about that. That was one thing I was a bit concerned of, because if you remember on Black Rock Valley, one of the reasons why I stopped playing was because the lag or the FPS drops were pretty high sometimes. And I think it just came down to the number of mods and whatnot. Alright. There we go. Nice. It seems so strange to be bailing on a server. I don't think we've ever done bailing on a server. I don't think even on Tungstorf when we started playing on the server that we did bales at all. Now technically you can bail quicker than this. Like I can put my foot down and I can go up to 20 kilometers an hour. What the problem you'd run into is you would basically have to I guess you could do it. We'll see how it goes. I'll put my foot down, and as we get close I will put the cruise control on so it stops. But I don't know, depends how you want to do it. I think last time I asked about baling speeds, I think most people said you can bale about 20 kilometers an hour. If memory serves. There we go. Drop bale. So this is me putting my foot down, doing 25 clicks, just to give you a bit of a perspective of the difference in the speeds. There we go. Close that up. Oh, there it is. You can see it in the rear view mirror. I wasn't sure if you could see it or not in that rear view mirror. I'm referring to the tailgate, or whatever we call it, the gate from the baler. Sometimes it you won't be able to see it, and some you can just barely see it. There's just a little tiny bit of the tailgate you can see. I think on the case that we normally use, Timber's case, you can see the tailgate go up and down, but in this in-game one you can't. There we go. We do have the Ursus over here as well, so we can pick up the bales after that. We'll have to see how it goes though, because right now we're pretty much rolling pretty good, it seems like. Alright, let's see. There we go. Yeah, with 4 people doing this kind of activity, it definitely makes it go pretty quick. Like if you're doing this by yourself, it can take, of course, a little bit of extra time. But we're going to get this little tiny spot right here just for fun. There we go. But with 4 people, it definitely makes this type of activity go super smoothly. There we go. Excellent. So, I don't know. I think in reality, this tractor or this baler is way overkill. Because this baler I think only needs like 79 horsepower or something like that, and the tractor I'm using has 400 horsepower. So like, in reality, is, like I said, way overkill. But it still works. Alright, there we go. Roll downhill there a little bit. There we go. Excellent. So, I hope you like this map. I do like Stevie's maps. I have played on, like I said before, a couple of his maps. I think Michigan was one of his maps too. I can't remember though. I want to say it is, but I'm not certain now. But I definitely played on Black Rock Valley, which definitely was one of his maps, which is a good map. Had a lot to offer. And if you haven't checked out that one, it's definitely worth checking out. This one, I don't know when this came out. This one's been out for a while now. Apparently Spud was saying there's a version 4. I don't know why, but I ended up getting version 3 for some reason. It's the most recent one that I saw on Mod Hoster, I think, so that's the reason why I got this one. But there is a more recent version out there from what he mentioned, so perhaps we'll have to get that. Although the problem with that is I'm fairly certain if we were to upgrade to version 4, we might have to start over again, so unless it's like a groundbreaking change, I don't think we'll do that. There we go. Perfect. Alright folks, so what I'll do is I'll finish baling the rest of that up off camera. I hope you enjoyed this very first episode on Lakeside Farm. Let me know in the comments below what direction you'd like to see the farm go in. Hopefully we can make that happen in the near future. Anyways, that's it for me for today, folks. My name's Iain Robson. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for some more Lakeside Farm. I'll catch you guys later.